Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome back to my Dune Awakening content. So today folks, I want to make a video that is really timely with what's going on out in the community right now. This is actually going to be the second time I make this video because I screwed up the first one and messed up my sound, and if you saw the link to that video and you couldn't figure out what was going on, I had to delete it and remake it. Special shout out to one of my Discord members and potential guild members, Star Risk. He was the one that gave me the heads up that, hey man, your sound's screwed up. Really appreciate that, so that I could get it fixed before 10,000 people watched it and realized I'm an idiot. But anyway, so we're going to do a video today on the prediction on when I think the beta weekend is going to be coming. They have made the announcement on the 15th that they were going to delay the launch date of Dune Awakening. It was set to be on May 20th, and if you had purchased one of the Head Start editions, you were going to get into the game on the 15th, 5 days early, and that's when the release was set for. But they recently put out an announcement on the 15th that was talking about the challenges they've had in development and the feedback they've been getting from their beta testers that they currently have testing the game, and they have decided that they needed about a month more to cook the game just a little bit more. So let's go ahead and look at that announcement together so that we can look at the info that they told us, and then that will help us form what we think is, or what I think is, a very good prediction about when the actual open beta, well, it's not really an open beta, a beta testing weekend is going to happen. It's not going to be like an open beta type situation. There is going to be invites sent out, and I'm not really sure if you're going to be getting them through email like they normally do, or whether there will be a sign up on the website, or whether they choose people from their Discord. I just don't know, because they haven't specified that information yet. But let's go ahead and look at the calendar and the announcement, and we'll talk about when I think it's going to be. So on the 15th, we got this announcement right here, Dune Awakening important update. They talk about, you know, everything that's going on, about the closed testing with the journalists that's going on right now, and how their content will be released on April the 25th. So that's cool. That's coming up in the near future, so we'll get to see some more interesting content that we haven't got to see before from the live testing event that's going on right now with the content creators. But what we want is down here in the announcement just a little bit farther. Right here is where they start to talk about the delay. They say, as such, we will be moving the release date of Dune Awakening to June 10th, with Head Start launching on June 5th. This is not a decision we take lightly. We know everyone is very excited to get playing, but these 3 extra weeks will give us the time needed to make improvements that will lead to a better gameplay experience from day one. Now, so that was a big bombshell for a lot of people. A lot of people were frustrated. There was some negative feedback on some of the different Discords that I follow, and a lot of the YouTube videos had some negative comments about this because they were aggravated because they'd taken time off from work. They'd made, you know, plans in their schedules and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not one of those people. I'm not going to sit here and bash Funcom for doing that, because honestly, I think it was a good decision. If they had some things that their testers were telling them on their private beta Discord, saying, hey, these are problems, you really need to fix these, they took their feedback serious, and they decided to push the game back a month to be able to do those, you know, implement those changes, and to also allow the rest of us the chance to get in a beta weekend event as well between now and then. So I think that was a good thing, and I'm really proud and glad that they took the players' feedback into consideration. A lot of companies wouldn't have done that, because you're talking about multi-millions of dollars that have went into the development of this game, and the release window for them is very critical. I'm sure they have economic strategists that advise them when is the best time to release and all that kind of stuff. So a pushback is never to schedule, never to plan, so it's not something that's, you know, something they take lightly, in other words. So we now get the announcement right here where they say, we are also excited about the fact that this will allow us to do a large scale, so big, a lot of people, in other words, beta weekend next month, where even more of you will get the opportunity to play the game and share your feedback. We will release more information about this soon. So they're saying a large scale, which means a lot of people, and they're not really telling us who is going to get invited or how or when. They're just saying it will be next month, which at the time of making this video, today is the 19th, so that means it's going to be in May, and they haven't really nailed down a date for when it's going to happen. But that's what I'm doing right here, is I'm going to make a prediction based on kind of my experience with testing games in the past and the process of development and iteration that they have to go through to get these things out the door. So that's what we're going to look at next. Let's go to the calendar and we will look at that. Okay, so here's the view of the calendar so that I can kind of look at this with you and try to see if I can explain what I'm thinking and what I'm predicting so that you can actually see it on screen and make it a little easier to visualize. We right now are at April the 19th, right? So if they made this announcement 4 days ago on the 15th, and they said it would be next month, so that's going to be May. So we know that we can lock it down that it's sometime in May. Now, just understand that all this stuff could change at any minute. They could come up and they could say, hey, we got to push the release back again, or we've decided to change the date again, or whatever. But they have stated so far that it's going to be in the month of May. So we know that. We know when the release date is set for again this time, which is June 5th. Okay, so that's right up against the edge of the end of May right there. So that doesn't really give them a lot of leeway right here in the first few days of June. So what I'm thinking is, based on the fact that this is going to need time from today to get the invites out and get them set up and decide who's going to go and send out the emails or whatever they're going to do or make the announcement type of thing, I'm thinking that we're probably going to see the beta weekend either the 2nd, 3rd, and the 4th, or the 9th, 10th, and the 11th. I think it's going to be these first 2 weekends in May. Now, the reason why I say that is because if it's the first week in May, the 2nd, 3rd, and the 4th, that gives them next week and a few days to get the invite situation sorted out and get them out to everybody and get everybody, you know, accepted and ready to go. And then they could open the beta Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, because they've said it's going to be a weekend, so I'm assuming they mean Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Or it could just be Saturday and Sunday. I don't know, but I'm going to go with 3 days, and I'm going to think that that's probably what they're going to do. So if they send the invites out next week, we could possibly get an announcement any day here, and, you know, and directions telling us what to do, or check your email or whatever. They could do it here. If they need to postpone it 1 more week so that they can make sure and get all their ducks in a row, it could possibly be 9th, 10th, and 11th. I'm going to kind of hope for the 2nd, 3rd, and the 4th because I want it as soon as possible, obviously. But I'm kind of thinking it's going to be the 9th, 10th, and the 11th in all reality, because that's going to give them time to get ready. That's going to allow them to run the beta weekend, the 9th, 10th, and the 11th. And then what's critical about this whole process is if they're going to do a beta testing weekend, which is basically at this point probably just going to be like a load test or a server stress test type of thing with an increased player base. There's no telling how more expansive they're going to be with the current testing base that they have now. I don't think anybody really knows, other than the people that are in beta, just how many people are actually in closed testing at this point. But let's just say they quadruple or, you know, magnified on an order of 10 or 15 the amount of players that are actually allowed to get in the game, then it's going to make a really good server stress test for them. But what's going to happen is the players are going to get in there and they're going to break things, and they're going to find things that are wrong, and they're going to cause the server stress and load. But what that does is, if they do it this week or this week, that's going to give them the next 3 and some change weeks to act on those action items that they learn, and the things that they see that need changed, they can quickly make some implementation in the code or make some additions to the game structure, or whatever it is they have to do that they discover from this event. They're going to find some stuff out that they didn't previously know, because this is going to be a hugely increased player base from their normal beta, because they're going to let a lot of new people in, so it has to be an increased base, right? So they're going to learn a lot of things about it that they didn't know. So they're going to need time to fix that stuff, whatever it is, before release on the 5th of June. So that only allows them 3 weeks to do that. And that's, you know, really pushing it to the wire there. So I honestly believe it's either going to be the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, or 9th, 10th, and 11th. That's going to be my predictions for kind of what I'm looking at as far as when I think the beta is going to be. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope that it actually happens real quick, and that I hope that I'm able to get in. I hope you guys are able to get in. I hope my guild mates are able to get in. I hope we're all able to explore and taste the game of Dune Awakening soon. And that's going to be my prediction video for what I think is going to happen. I'm probably going to be wrong. Who knows? I may be right. I may be wrong. If I'm right, you heard it here first. If I'm wrong, forget I made this video. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, I just want to tell you thank you for watching my content. I really appreciate it. If you found this video interesting or entertaining in any way, please think about subscribing to my channel. Tick that like button so that it can be pushed out to a wider audience. I'm obviously trying to grow my content channel, and I would really appreciate your help on that. That would mean a lot to me. And then if you're interested in my content, then tick that bell so that you can get notified whenever I make more content on Dune Awakening, so that you won't miss it. If you like it, then you may want to see some more, right? So I appreciate you taking the time to be here and watch my content. I know you had a million other things you could be doing on a weekend. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I would love to hear what you think in the comments about what you think your predictions are going to be. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you have a different idea? Let me know. Let's talk about it. I'll see you later in the next video about Dune Awakening, coming soon. Thanks. Peace.